We are currently seeing rising home prices across many of the nation's largest housing markets, despite the fact that you may be hearing about a housing market correction and a potential bursting of the housing bubble. And I think this really catches a lot of people off guard because throughout the second half of the year, we started to see home prices falling in many areas across the country, and it looked like the housing market was kind of in a free fall. Now, to start the year off, we've seen a complete 180 where, houses are starting to increase in value again. And where I'm at in Orange County, we're starting to see more multiple offer scenarios, homes selling above the asking price and above the most recent comparable sales in the neighborhood. I'm Tim Hamilton with StellarQuest Real Estate, and in this video, we're going to be going through and talking about an article that was recently published in Fortune by Lance Lambert on April 15th. And he did a really great job breaking down and analyzing the most recent data that was released by Zillow for their Zillow Home Value Index. And he built a lot of really great interactive maps that you can play around with if you're a Fortune subscriber. So I'll link this article below. If you're subscribed to Fortune, you may want to go in there and take a look at it and read more about Lance's article. But we're going to go through this article, break down, and show you what's going on across the country with home prices. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Southern California, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. You can find all of my contact information in the description below. And if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on the housing market. We're going to start off by looking at this graph, which is analyzing the nation's largest 200 housing markets, and it shows the percentage of those markets that are either appreciating or depreciating. So the blue section represents markets that are increasing in value, and the red section represents the percentage of markets that are decreasing in value. And so you can see that starting, around the second half of 2022, a larger and larger percentage of the nation's largest 200 housing markets started dropping in value, and that has actually come back up quite a bit. So we hit our worst level in September 2022, where 79% of markets were dropping in value. That improved to 76% in October, 64% in November, dropped slightly again to 67% in December. And now fast forwarding to the most recent data that came out in March, only 23% of the nation's largest 200 housing markets are actually falling in value. So the vast majority of markets across the country have kind of turned back up again, and home prices are starting to increase. Now we're looking at a graph of the nation's largest 400 housing markets as analyzed by Zillow. And it's showing which markets are appreciating and which markets are depreciating on a month-over-month basis. So this is comparing the March numbers to the numbers that came out in February of 2023. And so the markets shaded in blue are increasing in value, and the markets shaded in red are decreasing in value. And so you can see that the areas that, are most commonly red are kind of concentrated along the West Coast, in Idaho, a few in Texas, and some in Florida as well. And so these were some of the housing markets that saw the largest price increases in the post-pandemic housing market era, kind of through 2021 through the first half of 2022. So naturally, these are some of the markets that are going to see falling home prices the quickest and possibly the farthest. And I wanted to quickly touch on some of the markets here in my local market in Southern California. And Zillow breaks down these markets differently than, by county. They kind of do their own configuration for their home value index. So we have Oxnard, Thousand Oaks, and Ventura is down 0.13% on a month-over-month basis. Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim is down 0.84%. San Diego, Chula Vista, Carlsbad is down 0.05%. Riverside, San Bernardino, Ontario is down 0.5%. And so now we're looking at the same graph, except this is the change in value from December 2022 through March of 2023. So basically what has happened to home prices so far this year. And again, you'll see that the red areas of the graph, markets that are dropping in value are concentrated in the same areas as before. And so going through our Southern California numbers again, Oxnard, Thousand Oaks, Ventura is down 1.72%. Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim is down 2.89%. San Diego, Chula Vista, Carlsbad down 1.41%. Riverside, San Bernardino, Ontario is down 2.16%. So this is slightly contradictory to some of the other numbers I've presented, especially the median home price in these counties. And from personal experience working in these markets, home values have been increasing since the start of the year. So I'm not exactly sure how Zillow calculates their numbers for their home value index, but from personal experience, I would say that, home prices, particularly in Orange County, are higher than they were at the start of the year. And so finally, we're going to look at the same graph comparing where prices are in March compared to where they peaked in each respective market in 2022. And so you'll notice that there's actually quite a few markets that are still blue, which means they're either at or above their all-time market high. And so among these 400 markets, 182 are still below their 2022 peak price, and 218 are either at their peak price or above it. So, many areas across the country are actually, setting new market record high numbers for their local prices in their housing market. And so going through Southern California, which, unfortunately is still below their all-time highs, we have Oxnard, Thousand Oaks, Ventura is down 5.92%. Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim is down 5.31%. San Diego, Chula Vista, Carlsbad is down 6.44%. Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ontario is down 4.46%. And these numbers seem much more in line with what I'm seeing in the market. Despite the fact that home values have been increasing this year, they're still not back to all-time market highs that we saw, in Southern California sometime between April and June is kind of where home prices peaked here. They dropped quite a bit into the end of the year, and now they've started coming back up again. So these numbers seem much more in line with kind of what I'm seeing and experiencing in the market. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on the Southern California housing market. If you have any questions about buying or selling a home or just the real estate market in general, feel free to call or text me anytime. My personal cell phone number is 714-486-4086. You can find that in the description below. And let me know what you think is going on in the housing market. Are home prices going to continue to go up this year? Or do you think we're going to see something similar to last year where we saw home prices increasing in the first half of the year and dropping throughout the second half? Anyways, love to hear from you if you have any ideas for new videos for the channel or some topics that you guys would like to hear about.